Hey futurists, we need to have some conversations about gaming on the Quest 2. Yeah, I know, everyone's looking forward to the Quest 3. I am too, obviously, but I'm doing a series of videos listing games that show off the potential of the Quest hardware, even when other VR platforms shine so much brighter right now. MetaQuest 2 absolutely sings when pushing software that plays to its strengths. And let me tell you, retro-style games are where the Quest is incredible. If you haven't tried the games on this list, you're doing Quest wrong. Number 5, Team Beef. This is a cheat, I know. I'm counting several games as one entry because the team needs to be spotlighted as much as the individual games. Team Beef has taken upon the task of updating old Android games and making them work in VR. As soon as you play one of these ports, the same thought enters every gamer's mind. Why aren't companies doing this themselves? Who knows? But Team Beef has been going through all of the precautions to ensure that the games they port don't run into legal troubles. Once cleared, these guys have updated the graphics and gameplay to offer some of the best, most immersive experiences on Quest. Most recently, they ported Jedi Knight 2, Jedi Outcast, and before that, Return to Castle Wolfenstein, games I've never played before. But because these games are ports of older console and PC titles, you're getting longer and richer experiences that provide more than the shorter VR games we've come to expect on the Quest. Quake 3 is just as frenetic as you remember. If you have a weak VR stomach, this probably isn't your game, but for a shooter that moves faster and plays harder than nearly anything available in VR today, Quake 3 is just as amazing as it was 20 plus years ago. Thank you, Team Beef. Thank you. Number 4, Stones of Harlath and Shark Troops. Okay, I know. This is another sneaky cheat, but the developers at Garage Collective have found a very comfortable niche. They make brand new games utilizing immaculate sprite style art, but in 3D environments. The enemies are all flat, charging at you like something from old Doom or Duke Nukem's. The effect is very cool, and none of this taxes the Quest hardware. When you add in the detail that Garage Collective puts into the particle effects or lighting or color, the flourishes of eye candy makes these simple games feel like they've been in your 3D memory forever. The simple animations take some getting used to, and these two games can be cruelly difficult, but they stay installed on my Quest 2. Number 3, Ark and Ade. I'm not even sure what to call Ark and Ade. The official Quest Store release was updated with extreme polish during its extended stay on the App Store, so it's easy to think that it's the same game you might have played months ago. That's what I thought. But the official game was a shock of improvements all around. Difficulty has been adjusted, graphics have been tweaked, animations smoothed, and the whole retro Tron thing is so completely realized now that Ark and Ade is easy to recommend as one of the best action games on the Quest 2. Its approach is completely old school. Go through a linear level, but you're not on rails. Enemies of varying types and intensity pop out like carnival scares, but it's not a wave shooter. Think pistol whip, but you have total control. You're mixing it up with gunners and turrets, flying drones, many times simultaneously. And like an old school shooter, you pick up and exhaust power-ups and time extenders, new guns, and every level has some gigantic boss battle with multi-stage attacks and weaknesses. Ark and Ade is like the action of Time Crisis, but the insanity of a 3D Contra that was never made. It's well executed run and gun. If high scores and arcade gameplay is the break you need from Ghosts of Tabor or Population 1, this one is worth checking out. Number 2, Compound. This list is getting tough. Catch Me in the Right Mood and Compound could have easily been swapped for number 1. There's something magical, especially in VR, when a game gives you the feeling of complete movement agency. That when you get into a firefight, the outcome is all you. No complicated physics, no glitching because the Quest can't handle the game. No, when a game like Compound, a game that presents as retro with its simple sprite-like art style and addictive rogue-like structure, when something like that comes around and you immediately feel the responsive gunplay, or like you're inhabiting a space as you peek around corners and shift your head just before bullets whiz by, that's when you know a game is special. That's VR magic. That's Compound, and it works on every level. Dodging and weapon shuffling is the core of the game here. The modifiers, called mutations inject replay into a title already packed with fantastic enemy diversity. AI scales, sometimes drastically, whenever you ride the elevator to the next floor of bad guys. But the difficulty ramps up smoothly as every 2 levels introduces the next environment and next set of enemies. But always in the most fun way. You will play this over and over and over again. It feels so fine-tuned. The details and the graphics create a consistent world that, like others on this list, are improved by the art style, not hampered by it. Compound's randomized level layouts keep every run feeling fresh. I've been getting my quick shooter fix from Compound since the game launched. I don't know if Bevan McKinney, the one-man developer, ever planned for updates or DLC, but I sure hope so. If it has any drawbacks, Compound rarely takes advantage of scale or depth. Enemies are never higher above or distant and low. Environments are usually large connected rooms or smaller chambers and hallways, making you wish that Compound took more chances with the map layouts. Despite that, the game is a blast. There is nothing quite like Compound on the Quest 2. Finally, Ancient Dungeons, number 1. I just couldn't find reasons that Ancient Dungeons shouldn't be at the top of my list. It has it all. When you watch rankings of the best games on the MetaQuest, Ancient Dungeons has to be part of that conversation. This gem took a long time to incubate on Meta's App Lab, but the resulting first-person, roguelike, procedurally generated dungeon exploring game is one of the most surprising and underrated treasures of the Quest library. Now, Ancient Dungeon looks like Minecraft, but it plays like a 3D Zelda dream. Most of the environment is destructible in some way, like boxes and vases, and there's frequently something of value hidden as curiosity is rewarded. Round the corners of the pitch black tunnels or crypt-like rooms and the amazing atmospheric lighting hides an array of enemies and death traps that recall the best adventure games of an older era. The combat is also a ton of fun. Enemies will surprise you with random patterns, and finding yourself dodging between hopping slimes and making sure not to fall down a dark shaft at your back, yeah, that's pretty much the rhythm of the game. Ancient Dungeon is an exploration game through and through. The climbing mechanic is rock solid with visual cues communicating successful grabs that I really wish other games would employ, and branching pathways revealing collectible treasures at the end of every crypt crawl. You're going to lose hours in this incredibly immersive game. There's so much to find and discover here, so if you want something with the breadth of what you might find in a flat game, Ancient Dungeons is a top-tier choice. Well, those are the games that are already on your quest, but wait, there's at least one more promising retro-style game coming right around the corner. Medieval got a lot of positive buzz at the recent PAX East. Like Resident Evil 4, it's a souped-up port of a flat game that gets all new life in VR. It looks crazy. Doom meets medieval carnage, and I'm hoping to get my hands on it early, but I will definitely do gameplay impressions when it comes out on Quest on April 20th. So that's it. Did I miss anything? Did a retro game get overlooked that you think deserves more attention? I omitted Resident Evil 4 because everyone knows that it's amazing. This list is for the Metastore treasures that deserve a lot more shine. Tell me which games you like or don't like in the comments. If you like the channel, please subscribe and tell a friend. Don't worry, I'm still doing VR analysis content, but I also enjoy having fun on my Quest 2 and wanted to share it. Anyway, see you guys in the future. Show out.